Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I kind of wanted to just give you guys some kind of little update of what was going on. I know that I was supposed to put up the video of mine and my mom's experience driving, and I put up mine and Josh's experience. Right after that video had happened, we had I'm gonna start crying thinking about it. We ended up having a problem with our cat. Her name is Sugar. You guys might have seen her in previous videos that we had. She actually started acting kind of weird. And she wasn't eating, and you guys know she's fat, so she always eats. She wasn't eating her treats, and she wasn't drinking any water. And so it happened probably she passed 31st. So the weekend of July 31st. So basically what happened was that, like I said, she just stopped eating and stopped drinking water. She stopped being attentive, and she stopped walking altogether. And we're like, what in the world is going on with her? So usually she does not let Josh hold her, play with her, or even look at her. And she was letting Josh do all of that. So we were like, all right, something's really wrong with her. And then we noticed that she was sleeping in her litter box. And she doesn't do that. She doesn't just sleep in her litter box. So I started looking up, Google and all this kind of stuff. And different things started popping up, and was like, maybe it could be a UTI, a blockage. She could be sick internally. And then I asked people on Instagram, and nobody really responded. So I asked more friends and stuff on Snapchat and on Facebook. Sorry if you see me touching my eye. I poked my eye when I was doing my makeup, so it's watering. So anyways, so I asked on Facebook, and a lot of people were telling me that it sounded like a UTI or just a blockage in general and stuff. And I'm like, cats get that? And people are like, yeah, they get human stuff just like we do. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, at the time, we could not afford to take her to the vet, so which was very unfortunate. And when I finally did get her to the vet, I knew that it was going to be time. But at the same time, I'm glad that I didn't take her on the weekend that I was going to, when I started noticing that she wasn't feeling good, because there was no way I would have been able to pay for it. Well, skip forward 3 days. So I said to my mom, I was like, you know what? If she's not better by Wednesday, we can take her in, and we all had to work, and we all throughout the night, we kept checking on her and was like, okay, is she still alive? She's still alive? Yes, she's still good. So basically, she would move to different spots of the house, spots that she wouldn't normally be in, and she would kind of just lay there. And I'll insert a clip on a picture of how she's laying. She would lay on her back and kind of meow, and then all of a sudden she'd go, "Ma!" I'm like, the heck? And we could not figure out for the longest time, what was that sound? And then she'd walk some more, and then it'd be dead silent in here, and all of a sudden you hear, "Ma!" I'm like, what the hell? So then I just kept saying, what, Sugar? Are you okay? Do you need mom? Basically, do you need me? And she was just like, and I was like, okay. So I got her to drink some water. So then I'm looking up all these different remedies to help her. So I also found a vet online that I could talk to. They told me to give her I forget what they call it, but it's medicine to help get the acid out of her stomach so they can pass. She was urinating, but she wasn't able to take a poopsies. Basically, she didn't have a bowel movement. So she was urinating on anything that she was laying on, or coming into contact with, basically, because she couldn't get to her litter box in time, which explains why she would sleep in her litter box. But when I looked it up about cats sleeping in a litter box, it said that, like, you know, it could be that urinary tract infection and that it's not normal for them. So I'm like, okay. So throughout the night, we were checking on her. And then finally, the final morning that I had her, I got up, checked on her, and she had her head in her house, which was made out of a cardboard box. It was tall enough for her to just go in there and hide. And it was her bed. And she just had her head laying on her bed. It was like she was trying to get in there, but she couldn't get in there all the way. And she couldn't move. And she was allowing any and everybody to pick her up. And she doesn't do that. So, so then finally me and my mom were like, yep, we're going. So I made sure that Josh was okay with us taking her. Made sure that we had enough money to get the care that she needed. So I put her in a box because I didn't have a crate for her because she's a bigger cat. So I put her in like a little box with her bed so she'd be comfortable. And we took her to the vet. And the vet that we took her to was like an animal hospital, and they were really generous. They were very sweet. I want to give a shout out to them. Dodge Animal Hospital. Thank you so much. So basically when we took her there, they were like, oh, we have no rooms available right now for her as a walk-in. I'm like, okay, that's fine. She should be good. You know, so we scheduled to come back an hour later. So we told them all the information, got scheduled and everything, left out there, got in the car, buckled our seat, and all of a sudden, Sugar stood straight up and went, and we're like, what the heck? What's wrong with her? Well, my mom had to use the bathroom so badly, and she had pulled out when I saw Sugar standing up. So we kind of went to PetSmart so I can get her like a little bowl to put some water in, just give her some water. Well, she drank like a sip of it and that was it. And the rest of the time she was just like, you know, almost like you're gagging or something. And so in the meantime, as we're leaving PetSmart, getting in the car, headed back to the animal hospital because we're like, she's not okay. The nurse is calling me saying, hey, you guys can come back. We got a room for her. So we brought her up to the counter, and the nurse was like, oh, let me go ahead, or the vet tech, whatever they're called. Let me go ahead and just give her to a doctor so he can just look at her. Well, I guess he looked at her and he was like, she's not okay. So he put her on the oxygen to just give her some oxygen. Little did we know that her lungs, like her respiratory, was failing. So, so they got her like checked in and everything. And then a vet assistant came in and talked to us about our options and like what we all could do and everything. And I had told my mom before it all happened that, you know, if this was it, then it's it. All I want is for Josh to be involved in the decision. Unfortunately, Josh could not be there that day because he was at work. So, it happens, you know. The doctor, the vet, told us what could be the problem, whatnot, but without an actual blood test or anything like that, there was no way to know for sure. So, mind you now, Sugar's visit was $75. By the time they came up with a whole treatment plan for Sugar, it was going to be $600 to $925. And she would have needed like round the clock care during the time that she would be in their care. $600 and something dollars to $900. Like insane, right? If I had the money, I would have done it. However, after talking with the vet, he was telling us that even if we were to have pursued that course of treatment, she would have passed eventually on her own. Like maybe, I don't know, within a few weeks. Because chances are is that she was probably more sick when we first got her than we knew. Because when we first got her, she had like little nodules on her. And so we didn't really think nothing of it. And her medical records was like off the wall. And we had intended on taking her to the vet. But the reason why we didn't was that we couldn't afford it, along with our housing expenses and our living expenses. So we just made sure that she had food, water, and all that. We do feel bad that we weren't able to really help her as much as what we wanted to, because we did only have her a year. But, you know, sometimes it's just best to let their suffering go. And we had chosen at that time, because the vet was like, you know, I think you know what's best for her. And I think it's just time to let her go. And basically we had to go ahead and have her put down. However, when we went to go say our goodbyes, we went into the room and my mom was sitting there, and she petted her first and was like, love you, sugar. You know, you're going to be fine. Everything's good. She had a little IV in her paw. They got some little cute IVs. So they had it in her paw, and she like looked at my mom, and then she kind of was like, okay, I'm good. And then I went over to pet her, and I kissed her on the forehead, and I said, sugar, you're gonna be fine. Mommy's here. You know, I love you. She looked at me, you guys. She looked at me and went like this. She took her last breath as I gave her a kiss and petted her. Okay, I'm trying not to cry. And this whole time, like, you know, we had Josh on the phone, and we told him what was going on and everything. And so I called him once Sugar passed to let him know what was going on. So for clarification, Sugar did not wait until she was euthanized to pass. Sugar passed basically in my arms after I kissed her and told her that it was going to be okay. And that was that. Then after that, we just kind of left out. She did tell us some options of cremating, getting her paw prints, all that kind of stuff. We did get her paw prints in. We did cremate her. We do have her ashes. It took us like 2.5 weeks to get it all together. We just picked up her ashes like a couple days ago. A family friend of ours bought her an urn. It's gonna have her picture and her name on it. So it's gonna be her final resting spot. The only reason why we did get her ashes was because we did only have her a year. And we didn't really get very much time with her. So we felt like, you know, to be able to have her ashes, we could spread them where we wanted to, or just put them in an urn, in which we're going to do that. So that would be why you did not get a video about our experience, because we were dealing with our cat being gone. I boo-hooed my eyes out. I still do here and there. My mom kind of was a trooper and was like, held my hand and was like, it's going to be okay. You know, she's not suffering anymore. And what really passed her on was that her upper respiratory had failed. She did have other internal problems with her But we don't know that because we didn't opt to get an autopsy and we didn't get a blood test. So right there at the vet, he just declared it as being upper respiratory. So yeah. So it really sucks because our dogs didn't notice for a while and they kind of just went on living just like the rest of us. Sandy has started to realize that Sugar is gone and she was sleeping in spots that Sugar would sleep in. So Josh surprised me a couple days ago and got me a new cat. It's a boy. He's fixed. He's declawed. Sarah, if you're watching this, he is identical to Bagheera. Like, identical. He is only a year old. And he's declawed. Josh did not go out and have him declawed. Don't put that on us. He came like that. So, that's that. He's very cheery, total opposite of Sugar. He likes to crawl on things. He likes to be loved and petted and all this kind of stuff. I know some people might say it's too soon to get a new one, but when you have animals that were close to another pet in the house, I'd rather not see them all depressed and upset. I want to see them alive again, just like me. And we love the new cat. Nobody or nothing is going to replace Sugar. Sugar is actually sitting on our little stand right now with ashes from other people of Josh's. So, you know, we have her on display. We've kept a lot of her stuff, except like her dirty litter pan. Like, we have the litter pan still, but it's not the same litter. A lot of her toys I'm still finding because she hid them. So yeah, I'm gonna keep a few of her toys, but for the most part we're doing okay. Every now and then, like when I see something of Sugar's, I still break down over it. So it's not like I totally replaced her, you know. So so I hope you guys understand that we had something tragic happen with us. You know, losing your pet is kind of like losing your children, and Sugar was like my daughter. Sugar was my daughter. We have Brandy and Sandy and Cutie Pie still. Cutie Pie's actually on vacation right now. So, yeah, she's with my mom though. Don't get it wrong. She's not like living it up in a hotel somewhere. But she's on vacation. She's off with my mom. So I will get to see her next week. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please click that like button. Give it a thumbs up like that. And subscribe. Thank you guys. Sorry for not being on top of it. Love you guys.